Hello, everybody. How are you all doing?
Yeah, not bad.
I'm
not
good.
Bad.
So, who's sober?
Hopefully not for long.
Yeah.
Oh, what brilliant news that was to come out this morning. Tom, and obviously Dan were with us this morning to release the news. We had over 700 people watching our live stream this morning, which is pretty phenomenal, and from all over the world as well, which is even better. So we had a lot of thank yous for that, and we got a lot of material there for future bloopers and blooper reels from me, myself, Dan, and Tom to enjoy for the next couple of weeks. So, listen, we've all had a day to digress this and a day to think about what's happened and what's going on. This can only be positive news, can't it? There's 5 of us on tonight, so we'll have to take turns and be fair with who talks. But we'll go first with Dan Halifax because Dan, we're not heard from you today, pal. So, can I just see your mask, the head of UEFA mask, please?
What, the head of UEFA mask? I'll talk in it if you want.
There you go. Hey!
Up yours, UEFA.
Oh, I absolutely.
That's David Gill, that.
Oh, I absolutely love it. So, what do you think of the news this morning, pal? When did you see it? Did you see it on our page? Everyone else?
Yeah, I watched yours. I was tempted to come on when you suggested coming on live, but I thought, honestly, if we get a bad result here, I couldn't have that on my conscience. Just seeing people video of us all being absolutely gutted. But I'm honestly, I'm gobsmacked that we got away. Well, we won. Honestly, I thought UEFA had pulled everything out the bag, had loads of evidence, load of false testament and all that, and would have done us. I honestly did think that. But obviously, by the looks of it, their case was very weak, and nobody's bigger than City. As I seen a flag earlier, the biggest small club in the world.
Brilliant. I absolutely love that. Tom, you did the honours this morning, Tom. Do you have a bit of an excerpt of what's been happening over the last couple of hours and what's been coming out?
Yeah, well, like we said, I'll briefly go back over the actual statement itself if anyone happens to have not read it. Just the main bits were that obviously we had it says the exclusion from participation in UEFA club competitions is lifted, but the fine has been maintained but reduced to 10 million euros, which, as you rightly pointed out before, Tom, I think Sheikh Mansour has made about 50 times over so far today, so no issues there.
Good day for Sheikh.
Yeah, so the two things that they found was that we had contravened Article 56 of the club licensing and financial fair play regulations, and that as a result, we should pay a fine of 10 million euros to UEFA within 30 days as from the date of issuance of the arbitral award, which, as far as we're aware, has already been paid. And I think it says it's split between the rest of the Champions League clubs who have been good boys. So it's about 20 quid for each of the clubs left in Europe. So that's not so bad. It says the CAS award emphasised that most of the alleged breaches reported by the Judiciary Chamber of the CFCB were either not established or time barred. So that's to do with the fact that what they were coming after was from years ago, which is, from what I can gather, is now out of date from the time where UEFA can start to try and punish us for that. And the charges with respect to any dishonest concealment of equity funding were clearly more significant violations than obstructing the CFCB's investigations. Therefore, it was not appropriate to impose a ban on participating in UEFA's club competitions for MCFC's failure to cooperate with the CFCB's investigations alone. However, considering the financial resources of MCFC, the importance of the cooperation of the club in investigations conducted by the CFCB because of its limited investigative means, and MCFC's disregard of such principle and its obstruction of the investigations, the CAS panel found that a significant fine should be imposed and considered it appropriate to reduce UEFA's initial fine by 2/3 to the amount of 10 million euros, which I still can't understand how they're going to complain that we didn't play by UEFA's rules when they wanted us to prove that we'd been doing things wrong when we were saying we weren't doing things wrong. I still don't understand where that 10 million euro fine has come from. But yeah, so in a nutshell, we've not done what they've said we've done. CAS wanted to keep UEFA's face a little bit by giving us a bit of a fine to make it look like they've not completely done us over. And happy days, City 1, UEFA 0.
This has got to be the start of the end of the financial fair play. There's no way. If anyone comes up against it, they'll just use exactly the same argument City's lawyers have used against everyone else. This is open season, surely, against UEFA.
I don't think it's as bad as that, to be honest. I think we haven't actually done anything. Like, I mean, it's we're all sort of like reading between lines, but I don't think we've done it wrong. And just to touch on what Tom said then, I do understand why they did give us that fine, because we didn't help them in any way. We refused to hand stuff over and that. And I think the fine's more to say you wasted everybody's time. If you would have given us what we asked for, this wouldn't have got to this stage. But I think Man City knew it'd get to this, and if they'd have handed it over, UEFA wouldn't have banned us and just give us a slap on the wrist, which wouldn't have been took to cast. Do you get what I mean? So yeah. I think this has all been a pretty decent ploy by Man City, but I don't think it'll kill financial fair play. If anything, you'll probably hear whispers about it, like, oh, if Man City got away with it, why can't we? But like Khaldoon says, we're not responsible for failed business plans. We do it right. And I think it nails on head, doesn't it?
It certainly does there, pal. Chris, you had a few points to raise before about the potential negativity within this, and you are the voice of doom when it comes to things like this. So come on, pal, give us, out of this fantastic day, what negatives could you possibly bring to the table?
Well, as I said before to you guys, the initial reaction, I was chuffed. Obviously, the ban being overturned, bit of justice. But then every detail that's come out, even from the statement itself, has just got me more and more annoyed as the day's gone on, and as other media outlets are reporting it, I'm getting more and more pissed off. If you take the actual statement and this fine, as soon as he said that we were basically getting fined for not cooperating, all I could think of is basically, I mean, we must all have been in that position. You're at home. The phone rings. You've got George Akadabwango saying, "Yeah, well done. You've won 30,000 Ugandan dollars. I just need your bank details." Imagine for that. You've had that phone call saying you've won something, and you're like, "Hold on, this is utter bullshit. Hold on a minute." But after like a good hour of him chatting away and persuading you, you think, you know what? All right, there's my bank details, and then the next day, £30,000 has gone out your account. You're like, bastard. Right, you report it to the police, you report it to your bank, they do their investigation, say, yeah, look, this is fraud, you've been diddled, but yes, you're covered, but we're only going to refund you £20,000 because you didn't cooperate with them quick enough. You waited a full hour on the phone before handing your details over. It's utter horse shit. Why would you bloody cooperate with something that you know is flawed and a load of bollocks to start with?
You lost me on that analogy, mate. I've got to be honest. I've had a really long day today.
To me, we basically been done for nothing. I
want to know what his name was again.
It's from Phone Jacker, isn't it? That George Akadabwango. Congratulations, madam. But I mean, I've seen Match of the Day on Facebook saying that it's just going to make it. It just shows how hard it is to impose the rules of financial fair play. Fuck off. We haven't broke the rules. We're innocent until proven guilty. They've gone to court and it's proven, apart from not cooperating, it's either outdated, which is your way through, you've set those restrictions, so tough, and anything else, there's not enough substantial evidence to say that we've done anything wrong. So we haven't done anything.
Just to say quick, right? I know we were saying outdated, but it's not just because they're outdated. We've already paid a fine previously in 2014. We paid a fine for this. So it's like going, you robbed a car 10 years ago. Oh, you know what? You just got done for money laundering, but you're going to get done for robbing that car again.
You can't do that. You can't do it. But everywhere you look now, I mean, Gary Lineker's sticking his nose in and banging on about financial fair play. And to me, financial fair play was dead from day one. I mean, you look at, like I've said it before on the show. Look at the teams around us. Look at teams like Wigan at the minute. They were bought. My father-in-law's a Wigan season ticket holder. They were bought like 3-4 weeks ago, and everything that's gone on there has just been one farce after another. You had Bury, who were bought for £1. The team won. The team got promotion from League Two, and over the space of the summer break, all the teams been sold off. They've got no players, no money, and the team now doesn't have a league to play in. So yeah, financial fair play. Yeah, it's all right if you want to throw money at a club, you can't do it. But there's nothing stopping you from stripping money from a club. To me, football teams, especially in this country where football started, to me, football clubs, doesn't matter whether it's Torquay, Basildon, City, United, they're as important as historical buildings, and they should be protected. They should be protected by law. I've always said it. It's like if you have a Nissan Micra, you've bought it for £500. If it fails its MOT, it's going to cost £1,500 to get it on the road. If you want to spend £1,500 on it, then that's your money you're throwing away. Nobody can stop you doing it. If you don't want to spend £3,000 pimping it out, sticking some nice alloys on, tinting the windows, sound system and everything, and looking like an absolute tit when you drive about, so be it. You do that. It's your money.
So what do you think is going to happen now? Do we think this is going to be? Do you think the UEFA are going to have to go back to the basics and realise what they put it in place for, and readdress the things that City have been able to circumnavigate? Because we have circumnavigated it. Let's be honest with what we've done. So, what we're going to do from now on, what UEFA are going to be able to do, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and work out why they brought financial fair play in the first place. And that, for me, was the elites wanted to keep the elite where it is. And I mean, people will say, well, it was there in place so clubs don't go beyond their means, etc., etc. But for me, it was City just came into money at the right time, just to try and bulldoze its way into the elite clubs. We really did it right at the right time, didn't we? No, I don't think. Could any other clubs do that now? What City have done in the last 10 years?
Well, Newcastle.
Could Newcastle do it now?
And I'll tell you what, I hope they do. Because especially as a City fan, how can any City fan kick off or have a moan if Newcastle get taken over and then start throwing millions of pounds at players? I'm sorry, as far as I'm concerned, so long as you're not putting money into a club as a loan against that club. So, if you decide to, right, I'm pulling out or it's not going to plan, I want my money back. If you want to inject money into a club, if it's your club, then so be it. And because it's like a gamble. If you put money into your house and then all of a sudden your house goes up in smoke, tough. You've lost your money. It's that. If you want to put money into a football club and it goes tits up, you lose it. If you, like City, we've make money, then fine.
I think City's got to be the best example of a business that's done fantastically well. We ran so well. Dan Fielding, what's your thoughts on today, pal? How have you found it?
Well, another day at the office, really, isn't it? I was the only one that was said from the start, that I was the most hopeful person in the world. You
were not hopeful 30 seconds into Tom reading that statement. I've seen your face on that thing. Don't tell me you were confident.
Even Tom said it put him off at the beginning where he said there'd be an exclusion.
The first half, they had me, boys.
All of us were to say, we're all like, oh, for God's sake. Yeah. And then as soon as it was upheld, like, oh, right, I was right all along, But I always had a good feeling. We wouldn't
of losing £1 and finding the 20 around the corner.
I know. I wish I put some numbers on lottery, but no, but it's another day at the office for City. We don't bullshit. We don't pussyfoot about. We've been honest from day one. The owners have been very transparent about everything. And to Chris's point, it is like we're getting fined for having to prove that we're right against the ones that are telling us that we're wrong, even though we've got the proof that we're right. It's basically, for me, it's UEFA saying, oh, we've lost, but fuck off, we still want some money off you. Financial fair play in terms of this, it was flawed the moment it was created. Financial fair play only came about because of City. If anybody says anything different, they can shove it up their ass and sing hallelujah till the cows come home. I don't care. Financial fair play was never mentioned until City started wrapping in the cash. And to what everyone else says, it's our owners, it's our money. Why can't we spend our own money that our owners are putting in the club? We've been in profit for 4 seasons on the trot now? What club can spend the amount of money we spend on transfers every single season and still raking a profit? And this is coming from a club that apparently has no fans. revenues are there.
The best thing, I mean, United are 500 million, 600 million pound in debt, and they're okay. I think it's absolutely ludicrous. It's absolutely bonkers.
Doesn't
United
work.
fans. The best thing about today is I've been busy with one or two things, and I've been on Twitter whenever I can. And the piss boiling that has been going on Twitter today. There's so many people are just not happy. There's so many people, and these are grown men and women that are saying City bribed Cass. These are grown adults that genuinely think the Court of Arbitration for Sport can be bribed, and it's amazing because it's just like, come on, guys. We've been exonerated. Accept it. No, you've bribed this. There's brown envelopes here.
They're Swiss. The Swiss can't be bribed.
Do you know what makes me laugh about that? Sorry, Dan. Let me just tell you. Everybody's saying because there's that lawyer on the cast panel, isn't there, who's worked for Etihad, isn't there?
Oh.
He's like got a Scottish name, but he's French. And they're saying, it's because of that, it's because of that. But on every report, in newspaper, it says, but his integrity cannot be questioned. So even like BBC and all that, they don't even question him in case he sues them.
Absolutely amazing. It's funny because that one thing I've seen today, all the way through I've been growing up being a City fan. My dad, City have always seemed to have been like people's second club. People's third club. They've always really liked us because, let's face it, there's always 6 points to be had from City 15 years before. And it's like my dad's always said, do you know what? I'd love us to be hated. I'd love City to be hated. And I never really understood what he meant until today, until I turned on Twitter and Facebook and seen some 37-year-old people saying, I hate City. I was like, do you know what? Fantastic. My dad must be happy about this. He'll be well happy knowing that City are finally hated for something that's jealousy, pure jealousy. Because we run our club well and their clubs don't run their club well.
The whole hypocrisy side of everything's coming out now. I mean, that tip, the president of the La Liga's bollocks himself out now, and he's put his foot in it and said, Cass ain't up for the job. I think basically he wants a foot up his ass and saying, no, actually, UEFA are up to standard of their own demands. UEFA have set the boundaries so high they can't even get there. It's the whole system is flawed, and City are probably going to start leading the way for a whole new generation of governing body, and it's time it came. Financial fair play should have been initially brought in, not to worry about clubs paying with their own money, but to keep the teams like Bury and Wigan all afloat, vetting the proper owners coming in, owners that are financially stable, not these tits that are coming in and wrecking clubs.
It's bonkers, isn't it? How people, it's pure jealousy. People are looking at City and how well we're run, and they're jealous of it, and it's fantastic.
I think the United fans are the funniest. I don't know if I said United fans are the funniest at the minute. I don't know if any of you listened to Talking Balls tonight. No. You had Gaz Drinkwater on one of the guys who hosts it, the United fan, and the question was put to him and says, would you rather have City's owners or basically like what you've gone through over the last sort of 7 years? And he was adamant he would not want owners like what we've got. And it's like, hold on a minute, there wasn't too long ago that there was a takeover talk with big Arab investors, the Saudis going, yeah. But if you think about what United have gone through and still going through, I mean, they hate their owners. They've been campaigning for years to get them out, and yet because of it, all of a sudden it's City. The clubs would kill for owners like ours who just turn. It was like winning the lottery, innit? It's like being you're that 9 to 5 worker. You go in, you do your job. It's crap. It's mundane. And then all of a sudden, it's a bit like, in fact, it's like Charlie from the Willy Wonka. You've got the golden ticket. You're out of bed. You're dancing around like a twat. You're all happy. And like I said, all of a sudden, we're getting told that we can't spend the money that we've got. Because it's not fair on everybody else. Chris, well, boo fucking who.
On a serious note, Chris, you could keep most clubs afloat if you wrote all his analogies in a book and sold it on behalf of them. I'm not joking. Where the hell do you come up with this stuff?
Not to be the bearer of bad news, but I think we've got to be a bit neutral, not neutral, but a bit fair. I do think financial fair play had something to do with Portsmouth as well, how they went tits up. So I know a lot of it was for us, but I think we've got to be neutral. Well, we've got to be fair across board, and I don't think it was just aimed at us. I think it's seen what we did, and then it's seen what Portsmouth did, and just fucking carried on sinking. Because I mean, they were in Europe and that then, weren't they?
Well, Leeds have got a big thing to play. Their chairman used to plough millions into Leeds, didn't he, to get them to the semi-finals? Yeah. And they went.
Well, that's the point where it's flawed for me, because if financial fair play is vetting them, and obviously the things that happen with them, they were still letting them drop to the point of almost non-existence. That's not what it should be there for. It should be saving club. Yes, they may have cocked up at one point or another. Don't cock it up to lose arguably some of the greatest clubs that the football league's ever known. I can't believe I said that about Portsmouth.
They were a good team back then, though, weren't they? They had a decent FA Cup winners and that.
I know, but it's Portsmouth.
Well, that's what I said about if you're an owner, or if you've got shares in a club and you put money into it, you can't be putting that money into it as a loan. You're investing that money. If something goes if it all goes tits up, fine, but you've still got the assets. You sell the players, but the club doesn't fold, and that's what's happening, and that's where it all goes wrong for me. I mean, could you imagine our owners pulling the plug, saying, "Right, I want my £1 billion back"?
Oh. Can I just read you something off Twitter? Ewan McKenna, who's sports writer of the year once upon a time, apparently, and he writes for the Independent Sport. Right, I'm going to quote here, and you ready for this? Just thinking, Manchester City fans, you would have loved the O.J. Simpson trial. Didn't matter that it was clearly guilty. As long as you can make sure the evidence isn't allowed to enter the trial, that's the important part, and you stroll out, no consequences, no blood on your hands and shoes.
You know what's mad about that?
All right, Ewan.
I have that exact tweet up on my phone, and I was about to mention this guy. What is he on about?
Oh my God!
What is he talking about?
He has lost the plot there, hasn't he?
Good analogy.
He's compared. what was it? A double murder with Man City getting accused of spending too much cash. What sort of? I've seen some tweets from some people today, off fans and the works, but for a so-called journalist to tweet something like that, honestly, it baffles me. It beggars belief. It really does.
I thought I was a full-time wanker, but my God, he's beating me hands down.
Hey, don't count yourself out just yet.
Still plenty long in the night to go, pal. It's all right, we've got your back.
There's the live show tomorrow morning as well. Don't worry.
We've got your battery. I'm gonna post this on the Facebook page just so people can actually read and believe and digest it and understand where we're coming from. It's bonkers, isn't it? Some of the stuff people are coming out with. You'd have to ask yourself, there's a lot of people wanting to try and be famous quick with stupid quotes like this, like Miguel Delaney and all the rest of it.
Not bad.
Yeah, all those other journalists live in Saudi Arabia or wherever he lives. And it's just absolutely bonkers. One thing we need to be thankful for is Khaldoon and how well Khaldoon has handled this and the team he's put together to get us through this. And I tell you what, we've given them a hell of a spanking today. They will not be happy.
No.
They will not be happy.
Worried about the Madrid game.
Yes, because are you thinking dodgy refereeing decision in the 93rd minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am as well.
Thing is, though, it's like Khaldoon said in that video that we shared on the page today, is that Premier League clubs should be happy and should be supporting City and should be happy with what we've done and what we've done with regards to Premier League clubs in the Champions League, the works, because we've shown UEFA up for being frauds and the fact that they're trying to get us slapped with something that we've not done. And I don't like to think that a smaller European club, if a smaller European club was in a similar situation, and they didn't have sort of, the means or the powers or the people to overturn that sort of decision, it makes you question some of the decisions that have been imposed in the past, in the fact that how much of it is actually legitimate, how much of it is UEFA just deciding, oh, well, we don't like City this week, so we'll accuse them of this, or we don't like these next week, so we'll accuse them of that. But it's showing UEFA up, and like I say, they'll definitely think twice before they accuse anyone of anything of this magnitude again. So I think the clubs, like Khaldoon said, they should be thanking us. They should be thinking, you know what, you've come out and done us all a huge favour here, and I guarantee when UEFA do make the changes to the financial fair play that we're expecting, that there will be a lot of clubs thanking City and thanking our lawyers for getting this decision overturned.
I'm glad you brushed on that, Tom, because that's what I'm going to say. How can UEFA's committee, who's done this ban, now sit in the same jobs they've had? knowing the evidence are all a load of crap. How can they actually do that? You've got an ex-Man United employee on the board. You've got PSG's current employee on the board. How can you have a rival? Do you know what I mean? It's not to nick analogies off Chris. It's like going to court and who you've robbed won a jury. You can't. It should be.
So what you're saying is that UEFA should be like CAS, completely independent, completely neutral, completely down the line.
Yeah. Why not just have that? UEFA that board of UEFA handles the crap, the draws, the advertising, the whatever. You know, whatever else they do. When it comes to problems, go to CAS. Why not? There's enough money in job, isn't there? There's enough money in football to pay CAS. Like you're sorting all the legal stuff out, from top tier to bottom tier. Why not just do that?
That's a really good shout, mate. That's a really good shout, and it makes perfect sense. But it's all to do with the money, isn't it? There's too much money invested in UEFA and the higher ups for them to let go now. It's going to take a Sepp Blatter incident of him being pushed out, even though he stayed an extra 6 months and got a £10 million bonus, whatever it was, for him to leave. It's bonkers, isn't it?
You know, now, I mean, I know probably no Rags are listening to this, but Rags will probably say, no, you're just saying that because you got away with it. But imagine now, Caldoun becomes the head of UEFA and goes, you know what, actually, I'm changing a rule that if you're in debt, you can't buy. And if you buy while you're in debt, you're going to get banned. That is exactly what happened to us. Everybody would be kicking off about it, wouldn't they?
Really good point. Yeah, no, really good point. So what's next then? Are we just going to go out, spend 160 odd million on a new right back?
We're going to win the Champions League first and really kick us ass, boot up their ass.
Do you know what? It was got to be on it. Champions League has got to be our main 100% focus now. Like Dan said, I'm really nervous that something's going to happen. There's going to be something. But they're saying that. I've seen a couple of really good referees in the Champions League, so I'm hoping that they're going to be as neutral enough. Because if there can't be anything dodgy, can there? There can't surely be anything dodgy. Can there?
I reckon they can.
Of course they can.
Especially with VAR.
This is City, though, isn't it? This is City. The pantomime's set. This is the interval. You've got the second half where it all goes, you know. Honestly, I mean, I've been watching City now since the mid-90s. And to me, the scene is now set for a proper Man City Champions League final win. I've never wanted us to win the Champions League. I've always hated it because UEFA's corrupt and dodgy. It's like I said, to me, it's not the Champions League. You've got Atalanta in the quarterfinal. When was the last time they won Serie A? So they're not champions.
They got beat by Merthyr Tydfil in the 70s, didn't they?
but to me now, the scene is really set. You know, everything's been going against us. We've been beaten in the league by Liverpool. It basically feels like the whole football world at the minute is against us, with the exception of Sheffield United's manager, which, you know, full credit to him.
Big old Wilder.
Let's go now, and just, I don't care who we beat. I don't care how we get there. But I can see it being, it'll be bigger than the Liverpool Istanbul fiasco that they're always going on about. It'll be bigger than that if City win it. It'll be the biggest thing of the year. And I'll tell you what, not a single individual award will still go to City if we win the Champions League this year. Not a single award.
It'd be interesting.
Asterisks next to it, won't they?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see.
Champions League.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how many tickets they'd have given City fans if fans were going to be allowed in the ground, wouldn't it? Because really, they got the say in how many tickets go to what fans and that. Like it were a fiasco with Chelsea, Arsenal, Europa League, wasn't it?
Have they said we're going to have fans, or is that?
No, I'm just saying it
I see,
would have been in if.
Who knows, mate?
A City PSG final would be incredible, wouldn't it? That'd proper piss off you.
I want to.
The Emirates PSG final would be absolutely incredible. And I don't know how they'd make us both lose. I'm sure they'd find a way of both of us losing if we had a City PSG final. I've seen someone on Facebook today say that Real Madrid's penalty times have already been announced for the second leg, and I was like, but no, it's like you say, it'd just be so City to go and win it this year, but it'd also be so City to go and get to the final, be 3-0 up at half time and get beat. So it's you just don't know, do you? You never know with City what's going to happen. So we can't wait and see.
I don't know about you lads, though. I do think we can win it without a doubt.
Yeah, I've said it all season.
Without a doubt. I think we're so far ahead of being, favourites. I mean, Barcelona, Real Madrid are pussyfooting around with that league title now. I think they'll concentrate more on that, use up all the energy on that. And like Dan said, Atalanta, or was it Chris? One of the two. Atalanta, when the last time they won the league, they'll bottle it. They're only good in the league. Who's really left? Atletico. They sat back against Liverpool and won 1-0.
Don't start saying teams.
We've got Juventus to negotiate, haven't we?
That will beat them. Gee, it's only him up front, innit, we've got to worry about, and he's easily tamed.
Lads, I'll chuck it out there. This is a successful season for me now. I don't care if we don't win another trophy.
Yeah.
This was a big one today, to me. We beat UEFA. So, fuck the Champions League. May as well call it City Cup now because we own you.
End over UEFA and take it.
Exactly.
By the pig man.
Exactly. I'm happy, mate. Like I said, like doing FA Cup, but if we don't win anything, I don't care. This would have thing hanging over Guardiola's reign, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I know. If we'd have lost this if we'd lost this case, all the great work Pep and his team's done, they'd have been overshadowed by getting banned from Champions League. So I think this is the big victory.
Yeah. It's worrying really because I'm always confident with City. I was a bit pessimistic with games, and some games are more confident than others, but. Like you said, Dan, I'm more confident now with going into the Champions League, thinking we're going to absolutely have you. We're just building up the momentum to put in because it's going to be condensed into like 8 days into it or something after we smash Real Madrid. In the thing is,
the players are going to be up for it as well because their names in retrospect are being dragged through the mud as well, aren't they? It's all been Sterling or De Bruyne want out if they're going to get banned, they don't want anything to do with the club. Their players' names are being dragged through the mud. They're going to go on like that, They want to prove a point and say, Sané, you should have done one sooner.
I think with all the talk of bending him over and. With Dan Halifax's pig man, all I can think of is Deliverance.
What, Dave?
Squeal like a piggy. Yeah, there you go.
That is a reference I didn't need today. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, so putting it out there onto Facebook. Everyone, what's your thoughts on where we go from here? What's your thoughts on the Champions League? A lot of people saying it's Bayern or Athletic were the biggest challenges.
Bayern in the final, and that would be fun. Yeah. Against Sane as well.
He won't play, would he?
He might do because he's not played for us, has he?
I think
he hasn't played for us in the Champions League this year.
I'm pretty sure there's a clause in his contract to say he can't play for them against us, as far as I'm aware. I also think we got Bayern in the semi-final, don't we? It's either Atletico or PSG are the most likely to come through that other side. I think it's Juventus in the quarters or Lyon. And then either Barcelona or Bayern.
I would be absolutely amazed if City's deal makers put a clause in the contract that said Sané could play against us this season.
Yeah. He won't be allowed to play in the chat. I doubt they'd even let him play in the Champions League period, let alone play against us. I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be playing in the Champions League.
I think because the window technically hasn't opened as well. Yeah. And I know he's sold, and I think we've been courteous to let him go train with him. He's actually in Munich now when he's training and that.
Yeah,
and I just think that's like one of them, like a nod to, like a thank you. Let him go do that, but I don't think he'll be allowed to play.
No, I agree with that. I can't see that at all. So has the game against Madrid been finalised for the 7th or 8th yet? Do we know? It'll be Friday or Saturday, isn't it?
It's been confirmed that it's definitely being played at the Etihad, though, hasn't it? That's confirmed.
Either way, Dan Halifax is getting the crates in.
I am, and with my mate David.
Come on, David. Piggy Gills, come into the party.
I think apparently it's the 7th. The 7th is when we're looking at playing Real Madrid.
You what, pal?
The 7th is the date that we got down, 8 o'clock on the 7th of August.
That's a Friday. Christ, a Friday night match. That's got messiness written all over it, hasn't it?
Gonna have a very sore head on Saturday morning as well.
Chris Kinnear, Atletico, very dark horse. Atletico worry me. You know, to be fair, most teams worry me.
I'd say Atletico are probably the one side we don't want to play, in the fact that their defence is just so strong. In that we're going to have a lot of the ball against whoever we play against. I'd much sooner have a lot of the ball against PSG, who can't really defend very well, than have a lot of the ball against Atletico, just absorb up that pressure and it was on the counter attack. That is honestly the word. I'd say that is the one team. If there's one team we didn't want to face, for me it'd be Atletico. I think a PSG City final would be so exciting. I think it'd be a quality game. City Atletico would be boring as hell. They'd put 11 men behind the ball for the full game and probably win 1-0 on the counter attack in the 90th minute. So I don't want to play Atletico Madrid. They are way, way, way off my list of who I'd like to play in that final.
They're like the Wolves of the Champions League, aren't they?
Literally,
that's the one team you don't want to play.
It's such a boring side to watch, but they do it so well. Like the way that they play football it's just honestly it's so boring and just tiring to watch.
Gundogan would be good there, wouldn't it?
Over 2 legs, didn't they? That first leg against Liverpool. He just absorbed all the pressure and won 1-0, and that was it. If they score early against you, you're in trouble because they're just so good at defending and they just sit behind the ball.
I can see Ilkay going there for 50 mil in the summer.
If we get 50 million quid offer for Ilkay, game gone.
Oh, you start.
He's retiring at City.
Hopefully soon as well.
Oh, come on. I'm telling you, he's going to win us the Champions League this season. He's going to score an absolute...
And he's also going to bring out a Brandiness sleeping tablets as well.
And the delay in this, the delay in you talking then, mate, made you sound like did anybody else hear that? Then it was actually me.
Yeah. He's not the most exciting player to watch. But no, you know, I'll back anyone who's got a City shirt on. Unless his name's Ilkay Gundogan, but no, that's a discussion for another day. So.
Oh, you're not watching the game properly. We've had this discussion, Tom.
Sorry, Ilkay Gundogan plays football like old people fuck.
Oh, Chris.
That's a good one now.
Chris.
I'm just waiting for Halifax to say it.
I reckon that's a proper banging title. Ilkay Gundogan plays.
No, don't say it
again. Banging being the word.
I'd buy that book. If I saw that book on the shelves, I'd buy that book.
Oh, there you go. That'll be the title of my analogy book.
Smashed it. Get it copyrighted now before someone else takes it.
Oh, that's just taking it to a whole new level. I don't need an analogy for that one. We're having it, aren't we, lads? Bring on the Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I just got another image in my head now. I can't need to get it out of my head quickly. That helps there, pal. Jane Truin, Facebook regular. Hiya, Jane. When are you coming on to talk to us next? Are you worried? Because we have so often seen in many years City conspire to lose a game and undoubtedly win. No, Jane, I'm not. I think I'm really confident. City, what you're talking there, City from days gone by. I'm quietly confident. We've got the players, we've got the staff, we've got everything set up to go on and win the Champions League this year. It's just a bit bonkers the way it's happening, isn't it? With the Lisbon thing and the one game and etc. Don't get me wrong. What do you guys think about having one game over 2 legs? I think
it'll suit us.
I think it suits us as well.
I think it'll suit us as well. I'd rather have a one-off game against Bayern Munich than play them twice.
Over 90 minutes, we beat any team in the world. Yeah. Over one game, we are better than any team in the world. Yeah. Over 2 games, when Guardiola's got a bit too much time to overthink what he wants to do in those second legs, does he want to sit behind the ball or play 4 men in midfield like we did against Monaco when we got knocked out a couple of years ago? Yeah. Over one game, Guardiola puts his best team on the pitch. I back us to beat absolutely anyone. And I think that it perfectly suits us. And I think it's just set up so nicely for us that we won't win it now that it's set up so nicely. But over a tournament over one game, look at us in the. I mean, I'm not comparing the the Champions League to the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. Look at us in domestic cup competitions. How often do we lose a knockout game over one leg? Hardly ever. Over one leg, we win so many games just because we got that know-how to win those games. So I think it massively suits us.
I completely agree. And the interesting thing for me was when I was thinking today, I was making a couple of notes that I think we'll start seeing more and more rumours kicking off in the next week that of City's players City want to sign, because I think players would have been holding off to find out what happened with this. 100%. I think there'll be so many pre-contracts agreed as long as City are in the next. They would have had that, wouldn't they? Like. I'm sure players would have said something to City saying, listen, I'm interested, but I want to play Champions League for the next 2 years. So come back to me, if you get that, and we'll go from there. There's got to be stuff like that kicking around, isn't there?
I mean, look at Koulibaly. Koulibaly's 29 years old. Koulibaly would not have signed for City without Champions League football for 2 years at 29 years old. And I think what one of you said before, the odds on Koulibaly signing for City now have plummeted. Looks like his odds have, I think, cut by about half. So players like that at 29 years old, you want to be playing Champions League football. And I think you're definitely right in that we will now hear a lot of players. I reckon over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a couple of players a day linked with the club, like we usually would do and that we've not had at the moment. So I think players, like I said on the show this morning, though, De Bruyne signing on for 15 years is my main priority. Getting him to a lifetime contract with a blank checkbook is, if all we did in the summer, nah, that's a lie. We need a defender. But if all we did in the summer in terms of signing extensions was get De Bruyne on an extension, then I'm a happy man.
De Bruyne and Garcia.
Garcia has to be.
And Pep as well. If we could get those three extended, please, that'd be lovely. I want to see Pep extend. I really want to see Pep put his colours against the mast and extend his contract.
I think if that happens, that's Garcia signing, Sterling signing a new contract, possibly De Bruyne. I don't know about De Bruyne is sort of like come out and said like, well, I'm going to be towards the end of my career. I don't want to rush into it, which I don't blame him. He might want to play somewhere else. So be it. But like you say, Pep's the big one for me. If we sign Pep, what a season. League Cup, this, and Pep signing, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, of course, it would be amazing, that, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm excited now. I love football. I mean, the annoying thing is, it's going to be over in a month. It seems to have stopped and then started back up again, and it's sort of like quick and dirty, and then it's over again for another. When does the season start again? Do we know when it kicks off?
I don't think there's a definite confirmed date, is there? But I can imagine they're going to try and get it as soon as possible, aren't they? They're not going to want any knock-on effects going into the Euros next summer. So I imagine it'll be. I can imagine it'll be the end of September time. I don't think it'll be much later than that.
Did you hear rumours today about Sergio extending his contract? Anyone see much about that today?
Just a year contract extension they're talking, aren't they? Up until 2022. I think if that's the case, I'd take that. I think there's no need to time down to anything longer than an extra year. Sorry, I don't think he'd want to sign anything longer than an extra year. But he's still scoring goals. As long as he's scoring goals, he's doing what he's in the side to do. So if he wants to sign on for another year, I'll happily have Sergio at City for another year.
One thing I look into that, Tom, is that if he signs a year contract, that tells me we've got no plans to sign another striker.
That is also a good point.
That tells me we've got no plans, or there's nobody identified yet that's good enough value for money.
No, I think it's saying. I agree with you, but I think it means we're signing an unproven striker.
Right. Okay. I get Jesus Mark II.
Yeah, and they're thinking we need even a 33-year-old Aguero to pop up here and there. They're not going to be signing the next bit. Do you know what? I can't even think of a proper proven goal scorer of Aguero's level other than Ledonowski. And we won't be signing him because he's about the same age, isn't he? But I don't think we'll be signing a proven goal scorer. I think that's why. That's in my eyes anyway. I'm probably wrong, right? But
yeah, I can't
see
assumptions,
to be fair.
Who's in the market at the moment? Who's that? What about Martinez? Is he not sort of banded around as well? But saying that, you'd still even if he signed a semi-proven striker or someone with great talent, you still want Sergio for an extra season, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Once he's been injured this season, we've missed him. We've missed him the last couple of games, haven't we? I think we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
So to have that option there as well, we'll still need it.
Yeah,
When
big
you're
time.
winning, sorry, Tom. I was just going to say, when you're trying to win everything, like we're trying to win, we say it all the time on this. A senior pro goes a long way. A senior pro that's been there and done that goes a long way. And not being funny, you say in 2 seasons' time it's crunch time and we need a goal, and we bring a 33-year-old Aguero on, proper foxing balls. I mean, he'll be touching top 5. I think he's top 5 goal scorer now anyway, isn't he? So he'll be touching top 3, 4. I mean, that has got to be a booster for the squad who's going to be coming through.
Brilliant for the youngsters as well, isn't it? Brilliant to work alongside Sergio's of the world. And so let's face it, we've lost a lot of senior players over the last couple of seasons. Losing Sergio next season might just be a step too far before we start bringing the next batch of leaders up through the ranks. We've got Laporte, Kevin De Bruyne. What's Liam Heaton's put? Kevin De Bruyne's a future captain, a leader of the squad. Just like waiting for players to sign and bounce back. I said, yes, I completely agree with you, Liam. He is a future captain. He'll be captain next year when Silva goes. I'm absolutely sure of that. But we just need more leaders, don't we? I think we need a lot more leaders in the squad, and I think the lack of leaders has shown this season. Obviously, losing Laporte is obviously a big miss. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the loss of company has been just as much of a factor off the pitch as it has been on the pitch for me. I think in terms of, like I say, we've lost a lot of leaders within the dressing room. We're losing, obviously, another one in David Silva in terms of senior player at the end of the season. I mean, I know Aguero's probably not the vocal presence in the dressing room that company was. But we, like you say, for the fact that it's going to be helping the youngsters coming through, if you like the likes of Phil Foden, young Manchester lad who was a ball boy when Aguero scored that goal against QPR and is now training with David Silva, there's plenty of youngsters that are going to be coming into our academy who will have grown up idolising Sergio Aguero and wanting to play like Sergio Aguero. And if they get a year in the academy, maybe in the first team, training with the first team squad next to Aguero, that's just going to do them the world of good, isn't it? But I think you're definitely right in that we've lost a lot of. I think Aguero's the only one left from that 2011-12 title winning squad now, isn't he? We've got none of the rest of that side left. So
just him.
I just think it's too soon to get rid of him now. I can't. I've just about got my head around the fact that David Silva's leaving. I can't lose Aguero just yet either.
I don't think Silva were the right choice for captain. And I love the guy, and I'd even give him a go on our last, but I'm telling you, he was not right guy to be captain.
It's true. It's true. I giving Silva the captaincy as all the smatterings of you're a great player. We want to say goodbye to you in a proper way, but he's not. He's never seemed like the captain material that I traditionally know as a captain. Anyway,
if that's the case, you give him the captain's band for the last game, don't you?
But you say that, do you need a captain in this day and age? Do you need a captain in modern day football?
You need me, you need that captain style player, because I've heard it a lot from ex-pros. They say the captain these days is just the guy who goes to the centre circle before a match and says heads or tails. But to me, it's like if you look at Kompany, the way he dictated that dressing room and led when he was on the pitch. That to me is what a captain is, and I don't really think you need the armband to do that. I don't think giving Kevin De Bruyne the captain's armband will make him a different kind of player or a better player. And to be honest, I don't actually want him to be the captain either. To be honest, I don't want him to be the club captain representing that squad of players. I think to me, you want someone who's a lot younger, who intends to be there for the next 10, 15 years. You know, if you look at United, when, United were winning stuff, they had Roy Keane as their captain, and he was captain for a good number of years. And like you look at Arsenal when they were winning stuff, they had Vieira, who was captain for a good number of years. We had Kompany. Kompany was with us for some time. I can't see De Bruyne being here for another 5 years, to be honest.
Maybe it would take giving him the captain's armband to make him stay here longer. Maybe giving him that armband will cement him in wanting to stay here forevermore.
And he's not a player that relies on speed. You could see a 35-year-old De Bruyne still doing the business in Premier League, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. He can ping the ball anywhere, can't he? Just stand it right back up, get the ball from Dan Walker and let him just do what he does.
Yeah, so you could see him, but I sort of agree with what you're saying, Chris. Surprisingly, I don't think. But it's just this team we have at the minute. I just don't see no leaders, and I hate to say it. I mean, I like Laporte, brilliant player, but I just can't see him taking the scruff of like a game by the scruff of the neck, like Company would have. You know, like that Man U game when he scored that header. You don't see Laporte doing that, and it's not against him because he's world class, but it's just not that. I hate to say it, but like a Van Dijk. I don't know. I think you're either born with that or you're not. I don't think that's something you can teach yourself.
I don't necessarily remember Vincent Kompany being as headstrong in the first couple of seasons when he was a midfielder as he was when he left. He seemed to develop over time to being that leader. I don't necessarily think he was given that straight or had that straight away. I might be wrong.
You know,
I see Garcia stepping into that.
Yeah.
I think he'll need a few more seasons, but I think Garcia could walk into that kind of role. But at his age and his position in the team, you couldn't give it to him next season or the next couple of seasons. I think it'll be Fernandinho next year, and then maybe Aguero the year after.
I think it'll be De Bruyne from next season. I think De
I agree with you.
De Bruyne's had the armband quite a lot this season. One player I could see as captain, albeit a bit of a controversial one, is Ederson. I'm not a massive fan of goalkeepers as captains. I feel like, for me, I prefer your captain to be out on the pitch, not in net. But in terms of someone who wears his heart on his sleeve and literally will give everything for the club, Ederson's got to be up there with the best of them. He was the one who pinged the carton of milk off Mourinho's head, weren't he, in that scrap? So if you're talking players who really are passionate on the pitch and will give absolutely everything in terms of they'll get up in your face if they need to, and they'll be there to back you up if need be. I think Ederson's up there with the best of them at City, but I do think that De Bruyne will be captain from next season, and I would have absolutely no issues with
Tom, it's not going to say this. I couldn't disagree with you anymore. I think Ederson would be an absolutely disastrous captain.
You think?
Oh, I do. He's just a fucking nutcase, isn't he? And
Roy Keane.
He's not. I don't like goalkeepers being captains. And I don't know.
I don't think he speaks English very well.
I don't think his language is that good. I just don't think his language is that good. I think a central midfielder. I think give it De Bruyne for the next 2 or 3 seasons. Let him do what he wants within the role. Hopefully, the younger players, the Garcias, the Laportes, will start molding through. And I think by then, we're going to sign him with a couple of leader type players in the next couple of years. Anyway, so we just don't know what's around the corner.
I must admit, I'd be happy with Ederson having the armband. I think if you're on the pitch. If you're on the pitch, in terms of, to me, a captain is someone you can look up to. When times are shit and you need help, you look to your captain to give you that inspiration. Going forward, City do not need inspiration whatsoever. And if there's a bad pass that goes wrong, Kevin De Bruyne is already on the backs anyway and give him shit. What we need help with sometimes is usually defending set pieces. And what better, if you know that if you fuck up at a corner, you're going to have to deal with Ederson at some point, because he's a bit of a scary bloke. He's not the he's a bit intimidating. And I think he'd be quite a good option, to be quite honest. And again, after what he said in the media, I think he could be here for 10, 15 years quite comfortably.
If it were a fight to death to win Premier League, I'd put my money on Ederson. Tell you that.
Scariest man in our squad by a country mile he is, I'm telling you. There is no one. I would not like. He has that little smiley face on his neck, and it's so deceiving because he's just not. I've never seen him smile. The guy is scary bloke. You do not want to get on the wrong side of Ederson, and that's why I referred to Roy Keane in some respects. And that you mentioned him before, how young he was when he was United captain. Yeah. He was a scary bloke on the pitch as well. And he was young when he was United captain. And I mean, I'm not saying I don't think Ederson will be captain. I don't think he'll be anywhere near being captain. But I wouldn't be opposed to it if he was.
No, I'm with you on that. And I think it might even help his case with the Brazil #1 spot as well if he was captain.
Yeah. Oh, Southampton have just scored in the 95th.
Yeah, Yeah.
You
Hang on a
love to
minute,
see
because
that.
it's not
That's
big.
just made my Blue Monday a little bit better.
What's the score with them now? With Southampton?
2-2, 96th minute. Southampton have just equalised from a corner.
in Fergie
Imagine
time.
dropping points against Southampton. That's bad, that, innit?
My Twitter
I'll
just
drink
went
to that,
absolutely
boys.
mental. Yes, Southampton, get in. Please don't be bad.
What do you think, Gail?
Oh, right. I think we're good for the night, lads. Should we wrap this up? Anyone else got anything to add before we leave?
No.
Fielding, you've been quiet.
Yeah, I'm just taking it all in, pal.
Dan, you're not able to fall asleep, mate. You had a hard day.
No, honestly, I was just listening. I agree with what everyone's saying. Honestly, what I will say is, talking to controversial captains before we do go, pre-lockdown, I always fancied Walker. I thought he had something about him. You know, he's got a voice on him, which I think we lack. But at the same time, I think the only problem with our squad now is, like, I think it was Tom saying it, we've let so many leaders go. We've dug ourselves a hole in terms of leadership, and we filled it in with cement and made sure anybody who comes in has to work their ass off to get it. You know, De Bruyne won't be a captain material for me. Keep him as just a world-class player he is. But other than him, there's no one else.
I want to chuck one out there. Rodri. Why not Rodri? Big lad.
Don't speak a word of English.
Yeah, he's 23, isn't he? He's only 23. Likes to tackle. He take game back, scruff of its neck. Fuck it, I'm putting my money on Rodri.
Thing is, though, there was an interview with Rodri not long ago, wasn't there? He was the best player in your team currently. I can't think it was City TV. I think it was about a month ago. And his reply was pair.
Would you have to say, did say himself, did he?
Well, I don't know. His reply, he had subtitles underneath saying who is the best player at the club in English, and he replied pair. So whether the hell he was asked, I don't know. But
that's not obviously an affectionate name for one of his mates.
pair. Yeah, but who would pair be?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Someone soft and juicy.
Not go there. Bloody hell. Right, that's it, lads. Let's wrap this up. City 1-0 winners against Cass with a 93rd minute winner.
Thank God it got to VAR.
Definitely not going to VAR, and United are drawing 2-2.
I know we better end this call before they score in like the 100th minute or something, and we all.
Right, lads, have a brilliant night. I'll speak to you very soon.
See you later,
guys. Stay safe, everyone.
Bye-bye.